Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking the video out. Today we have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. So do me a favor, before we dive into these topics, if you end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like, and if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. We're starting here talking about Ubisoft's Star Wars game once again, and how we're getting some details regarding this game leaked out. Coming from PlayStation Universe, leaker Tom Henderson has revealed that the upcoming Star Wars title from Ubisoft will feature a fully open, seamless world similar to Hello Games' No Man's Sky. According to the report on Insider Gaming, the Star Wars game will allow players to jump between systems and explore a huge galaxy that's brimming with things to see and do. Furthermore, the game features a fully customizable character and promises to deliver an in-depth story packed with decades worth of lore, locations, weapons, and characters for massive entertainment to draw from. So we did talk about this game recently on the channel and how a full reveal is expected to happen sometime in 2023. I figured I would just follow up on that by letting you guys know some of the details that are being reported here and ask you guys, what do you think of it? I mean, it certainly sounds ambitious. We'll have to see if they can pull it off. I hope they can, and you know, this is a game that I'll be looking forward to seeing whenever we get that full reveal. Next up, we're talking about Hogwarts Legacy. I just wanted to bring something up here that I think is worth paying attention to. We know that Sony has the marketing rights to this game, and they also did a dedicated state of play for this last year, and I think it's because Sony, you know, they want this game to do well on PlayStation, and we're beginning to maybe get some information that lets us know why that is exactly. This is coming from Benji Sales on Twitter. He covers the video game industry. He focuses on sales, data, social metrics, etc. And he says Hogwarts Legacy is the #1 most wish-listed game on Steam. Pre-orders are ranking in the top 4 selling games on Steam 5 weeks before launch, and I'm hearing very strong things about console pre-orders. If quality is good, gargantuan launch incoming, easily one of the biggest of 2023. So I wanted to cover this because this is very interesting to me, specifically the part where he says he's hearing very strong things about console pre-orders. Now, I have to imagine that this is a good sign for this game on PlayStation specifically because of those marketing rights. And, you know, I was always kind of curious as to why Sony, you know, did a dedicated state of play for a game like Hogwarts Legacy. Traditionally, we've seen Sony kind of reserve a state of play like that for either their exclusive games or their second or third party exclusive games. So clearly Sony must, you know, have a ton of confidence in this, and they must be seeing something here that tells them, yeah, this is a game they have to get behind. And I know it's a game that many of you are looking forward to. So let me know, do you have this game pre-ordered? And if so, which console or which platform, I should say, are you planning to play it on? Next up, we're talking about Naughty Dog. They are talking a little bit about their next big project and why they haven't announced it yet. Reading from Push Square, they say Naughty Dog currently has 2 projects in development that we know of. There's The Last of Us multiplayer, which we'll learn more about this year, and then there's something else beyond that, presumably a new property or The Last of Us. And while the wait for any kind of concrete information on the Factions revival has been a drawn-out affair, the developer is actually very wary of revealing its secret title too soon. In an interview with comicbook.com, studio boss Neil Druckmann says that announcing a game well in advance can be detrimental to the development team. We did announce Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us Part 2 way in advance, but that actually caused a little bit of the work-life balance issues that we've sometimes had in the studio, Druckmann admits. He goes on to reference Naughty Dog's unknown project. By delaying that announcement a bit, we could play the schedule more, and we're more conscious now about how we're approaching production. So there's our multiplayer project, and there's another project that I will not say anything about that's beyond that we're also very much excited for. So I wanted to cover this because I thought it was kind of worth highlighting the fact that, you know, Naughty Dog continues to acknowledge this major project they have in development, but they're giving us insight as to why they haven't announced it yet. And, you know, I'm actually completely cool with this. I don't always mind getting games announced early, but if it's going to cause potential problems in the studio, then it's just not worth it. You know, in that case, definitely prefer a studio and a team just do what they got to do and announce it when it's right. Announce it when the timing is right and when you know it's not going to cause issues. We know, as Neil Druckmann mentions here before, that they've had some issues with crunch, and to kind of mitigate that and fix that and correct that, one of the solutions is to apparently not announce their games well in advance. So yeah, figured I would share this with you guys, and let me know down in the comments below. We've been talking about it a little bit these past couple of weeks. What do you think Naughty Dog's next project is? Do you think it's a brand new IP, or do you think it's going to be another Last of Us game? Let me know. Moving on from that, we have more information to go over regarding Silent Hill 2 Remake. First up, we're talking about how this is going to be a top-grade visual experience, according to Bloober Team. This is coming from an interview with Gaming Bolt, where we have Silent Hill 2's lead producer saying, quote, "It's safe to say that visuals were always Bloober Team's upper hand, and I'm sure this will continue to be the case with Silent Hill 2. We did a lot of groundwork with Ito-san at the beginning of the production to make sure that we are on the same page with our artistic vision for the game. Our 2D and 3D teams are the best ones in their fields of expertise, so you can expect a top-grade visual experience. We ran an early external test and it delivered positive feedback. Obviously, we still have a long way to go, but I'm very optimistic going forward," end quote. But more information here talks about how they're apparently feeling the pressure to deliver with its Silent Hill 2 remake. This comes from VGC, where it says Bloober Team has said it's feeling significant pressure to meet expectations with its Silent Hill 2 remake. Following months of anticipation, Konami announced in October that the Polish studio behind the medium Layers of Fear and Blair Witch was remaking the 2001 survival horror game for PS5 and PC. In a new interview with Dread XP, Bloober Team's chief marketing officer said the company overcame many other studios to land the dream project, an outcome which she said left it feeling both overjoyed and apprehensive. In 2019, Bloober was invited by Konami to participate in TGS, where the publisher asked the studio to prepare a concept of a remake. Of course, we weren't the only contenders. Many other studios were vying for cooperation as well, but in the end, our concept was the one that stole Konami's hearts. They recognized our commitment and passion for horror, and that alone was an enormous distinction for us. Our company was thunderstruck when we received this ecstatic information, because many of Bloober Team's employees are die-hard fans of the title. As for apprehension, yes, the pressure is high since we're dealing with one of the best psychological horror games ever made. We want to stick close to the original, and we will put it in the spotlight for years to come. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, the remake will introduce an over-the-shoulder camera. While Bloober is rebuilding the combat system and certain set pieces, the studio is modernizing the game where needed, but taking a very safe approach to any changes it makes. We are focusing on bringing the distinct visceral atmosphere back in the modernized Silent Hill 2. Longtime fans shouldn't worry about us missing the point while we're livening up the title. We faithfully stick to the traditional story canon while remaking the gameplay and updating the graphics from the ground up. These are the reasons why Konami entrusted us with the remake in the first place. So yeah, I wanted to cover this because, you know, I'm really excited to see more of Silent Hill 2 Remake, and I think it's going to be a pretty big deal when Bloober Team shows the gameplay for the first time. You know, there are some people who I think are still not on board with this for certain reasons, and I think that's understandable. I do think Bloober has something to prove here, but it's just nice to hear how seriously they're taking it and how Konami received pitches from multiple studios, but what Bloober Team showed them, you know, stood out the most. So yeah, I like to hear that they feel pressure, because they honestly should. You know, this is something they should be taking seriously, and they should be treating it with respect. And I liked pretty much everything I saw in the trailer. I'm excited for this, and I know that there's a lot of nervousness when it comes to Bloober Team, and I have to admit I have also not been, you know, too kind to Bloober Team in the past. But when I look at this, I also think to myself, this is, you know, probably the biggest opportunity they've ever had. And if there's ever a chance for them to really try to, I think, you know, elevate their studio and their status and their reputation, it would be by really delivering a great remake of a classic game like this. So let me know your thoughts on that. We're moving on to the final topic of the video, which is a pretty significant one. We have a new Sony IP leaking out. It is apparently a sci-fi RPG shooter developed in Unreal Engine 5. Now, this was something that, you know, came kind of out of nowhere, But it says here not much is known about Sony's upcoming slate of first-party releases, but in the absence of official announcements, details on several projects have nonetheless continued to emerge courtesy of leaks. Interestingly enough, that's exactly what we have here. A very brief pre-alpha gameplay footage has emerged online, which I can't show here, showing early development footage of a new unannounced first-party PlayStation IP. As per the leak, the game is a sci-fi third-person RPG shooter that's being built using Unreal Engine 5. Allegedly, the game is being developed by Sony's European studio XDev in collaboration with an unknown external studio. Meanwhile, over on Reset Era, leaker Dusk Golem has also said that the leaked clip is from a much earlier build during the game's development. According to him, as things stand right now, the game is much further along in production. He also claims that this is not one of the several games that were mentioned in a leaked Sony document from last year that listed a number of unannounced first-party releases. Now, to continue on from this, apparently, the unknown studio that might be working on this game is People Can Fly from PlayStation Lifestyle. The footage that leaked yesterday and has since been removed from both the source as well as Reset Era carried the caption "Red" in quotes. A Reset Era user then pointed out that the project codenamed Red was mentioned in People Can Fly's financial report. The company revealed that Red is one of the projects it's working on to expand its portfolio, and it was in the concept development phase at the time the report was published. There's reason to believe that Sony may have tapped People Can Fly for its sci-fi shooter / RPG. People Can Fly is no stranger to the genre, having worked on Outriders, Bulletstorm, and Gears of War games. And so, yeah, it's also worth noting that, their parent company is Epic Games, which, is a major Sony Interactive partner. So, yeah, this is very interesting. As I said, I can't show anything here, but, maybe you've seen the footage, or if not, maybe you can still find it floating around out there. But the fact that it was taken down likely means it was real. And it does look rough. Like, when you see this 5 seconds of footage, you do get this sense that, yeah, this is a really early build. But this is exciting to me because this is the type of diversity that I think many PlayStation fans are hoping to see from PlayStation going forward. And it is hopefully true that what Dusk Golem said, about it being much further along in development, hopefully that turns out to be true, and this is a game that we're actually going to hear about relatively soon. I think a new sci-fi RPG, assuming it's, of quality, is something that Sony can use. And so, we'll have to, I think, keep our expectations in check. This is a third-party studio that's developing in collaboration with XDev, and we know very little about the game, but there you go. I will keep you guys updated if we get any more information on this, but at this point, I want you to leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. That's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it informative. Leave it a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.